nobody's business. Ain't nobody's business but me and my baby. Ain't nobody's business.
This is Mike Griffith with Take Your Best Shot podcast, and I'm here with Debbie Duncan and Doris Haines. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so Debbie, you are known for being a jazz singer. In some circles, you're looked at as being legendary. How did you learn jazz, and how did you learn to sing? Because to me, that's always an interesting story.
Well, I think I just started singing. I think after a while, folks realized that I think she's serious about this, but I started singing when I was 3. And I loved Mahalia Jackson at that time. I would just like run around singing Mahalia Jackson tunes and television commercials and Rosemary Clooney songs. Yeah. Just pretty much anything that popped into my head. And that started from the time I was 3. And it just continued, and from listening to my father, who was and still is a jazz aficionado. I mean, my father knows jazz, who's 93, by the way.
Wow.
And still hanging in there. Just talked to him the other day. He looks fast.
So your father kind of introduced you to jazz.
My father and my mother, because that's what they played around the house. This be dating myself, but that was the music of the time. And I didn't really necessarily think of it as jazz, even though I knew my dad was a jazz aficionado. Actually, when I listened to vocalists, I didn't even think about them being jazz singers. The only ones I thought about being jazz were the instrumentalists.
Really?
And I said, well, that's cool. And basically, I really wasn't thinking about the jazz thing. That didn't come until later that, I found people and radio hosts and other folks start categorizing everything, because I just pretty much loved music. I loved classical music. As I got older, I loved folk music. Matter of fact, that's what I started off doing.
With folk?
Mm-hmm. Loved me some folk music. Loved everything. I just liked good music. And as I got older, it started, being more mainstream jazz, or me realizing that, it's jazz, is it now?
So you guys pretty much started music in the 60s and 70s?
Well, actually, 70s.
70s.
That's when I got my first
Okay,
gig.
so the Motown, since I know that you guys started in Detroit.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we had our conversation, because I was born in Detroit.
What?
I was.
My
Remember,
brother
we had
was
that
born in
conversation. I
Detroit.
was born in Detroit.
What street?
I don't know, but it was Wayne State University.
That's where we went to school.
Yeah. So I was born in 65, so I was born before you were there.
That was
But
a good year. No.
no?
Well,
Well, I
before
think
Wayne-
65 was the best year ever. I mean, because that's the year I was born. But
That's the year I went to high school.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the Motown sound didn't actually drive you
I
to.
love Motown. I don't think you could live in Detroit and be a
Yeah,
part of
that's what I'm
Detroit
thinking.
and not enjoy Motown. I mean, when my sisters and I lived together, we used to do trios. We were going to be the next Supremes. I was everything, okay? I was doing Motown, I was doing folk, I was doing jazz, because as I said, I wasn't looking at any categories
Right.
one way or the other. I just liked a good piece of music. If it was a good piece of music, I liked it, I sang. If it was a trio, I try and get my sisters together. I'm jingling all over the place.
No, that's good. That's all right.
My bracelets.
So how many sisters do you have?
I had 4.
4.
I have 2 now.
Okay.
And my brother, who's a wonderful musician around here in the Twin Cities, because we live together, he's more into gospel music, but once again, he likes good music.
So take me from Detroit to Minneapolis.
Well,
How
there's
did you
a few
end up?
stops in
Yeah,
between there.
I'm imagining that there's quite a few. Don't you think? Right, Doris?
By way of Japan, yeah.
Japan,
Actually, by way of California.
Yeah.
California. So you went out to L.A.
Yeah, we had a band. Doris and I were in 2 bands together. The first one was Sweet Thunder. That was in Detroit, and that was a hot band. That was one of the top bands. But we did Top 40.
Okay.
that's when I decided. I said, I've never done top 40. I know enough of the tunes. It might be fun to do that. And interesting enough, when you put something out there, God just got to bring stuff to you. So
Yeah.
that was a little while after we met. Wasn't
Damn,
it?
where did Pete come from?
I don't know. He had to come to one of the jazz clubs. That's what it was.
He came to Mad Anthony's.
Yeah. Mad Anthony's was
is
a
on
jazz
Woodward.
club in
Right.
Detroit. And I was working there.
Working as a singer or as
No,
a?
I was singing.
All
I
right.
was working. That was actually my first jazz gig.
All right.
It was because the gig I had before that, which I had 50 other thousand gigs at the same place, I was doing folk. But when we went to Mad Anthony's, I was doing jazz. We had a trio, and it was, it was Mike. Can't think of Mike's last name. He played flute. And then we had a gentleman on the keyboards. I can see him. Can't remember his name. And then we had a bass player who I can't remember his name, but I can see him really well. Anyways, we got a gig at Mad Anthony's. They told the owner, put me out there. I'm the one that got him the gig. Who knew? Said, yeah, we got this singer, and she's a phenomenal jazz singer. And the guy goes, well, can she scat? And, of course, they lied and said, yes, she can scat. She sings jazz. I went, okay, with the scat thing now. I had never scatted anything in my life. Well, except for singing along with some of the singers and what they were
Sure.
doing. But basically, I just learned songs. I said I'd get to that scat thing eventually. I got to it a little quicker than what I was ready for. But
So was that the end of Sweet Thunder?
No,
that
hadn't
was
started yet.
before Sweet Thunder.
Oh, that was before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you went from the jazz to the top 40 with Sweet Thunder.
Yeah.
I love the name of that band, by the way.
It worked.
Sweet Thunder.
We were
It fit us.
phenomenal.
It really did fit us because Doris and I were front singers, and the music that we did, you could put it. I mean, if you had Sweet Thunder was perfectly. We were kind of like the sweetness on top of
We did everything from
Everything, but we
Broadway
did do
to
everything.
gospel. We did everything.
Really?
A cappella. We did everything.
which was one of the things that really kind of set us apart from all the other top 40 bands.
And we
'cause
performed in gowns, evening gowns. We were very,
Yeah.
we were wonderful.
that was the other thing that we did because nobody was doing that. Then we said, we're going to go on stage, let's look good. And I like to get dressed. I think that's the beautiful thing about being on stage.
I think you still do.
Oh,
When I
yes.
saw you in your show, you were very well dressed.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I like see me from distances, know that she must be doing something in this show or she's somebody special.
Right.
Because at least when I'm
She's
performing.
candy for your eyes and splendor for your ears.
Absolutely.
her.
Absolutely. Now, I'm jumping ahead here, but I want to bring it up because it's something I thought about. Do you remember in that show at the 440 Club when your makeup went wrong and Doris went up and
Oh,
you didn't want her to come up, but she did, and you fixed the makeup because you were shooting a video that night.
yeah, we were shooting a video. that night.
Perspiration.
I don't know, I need to always have somebody stand back if it's going to be something that talks about my glowing, because I sweat. It ain't nothing, it's not nothing pretty. It's just
Yeah.
sweat. That's
Well,
it. Me and Ellen's there. We
The
sweat.
results doesn't matter if you're sweating or not
Yeah, it's
because
not
it's
coming
what
out
comes
my
out of your mouth. Yeah.
Just
All right, so let's get back
to.
to L.A. You decided you were going to make a big trip out there and try to make a career out there, or just see what it's like?
No, because we got this this other band that we got with involved outside of Thunder. We really we were planning upon going to Japan. One of the reasons I think we put the band together was to see what we could do as a killing band, and we were also going to leave to go to Japan. So we wanted to go somewhere where they didn't know us, where we could like really practice and tighten up what we were going to do. So that we could go to Japan. Also, because we were using some of the promo stuff, the background of stuff that we had with Sweet Thunder, and so we just want, change the names and the pictures and stuff. But
Now, were you with Sweet Thunder at this point?
Yeah.
And you went out to L.A.?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we went to L.A. to go to Japan because Ed got us the gig. It was Royal. It was called Royal Entertainment.
okay.
And he got us the gig, but
Now, who's Ed?
Ed was a guy that we had an agent
Okay.
and we had a manager, and it was our manager was Chuck Holcomb, and Chuck Holcomb got in contact with Ed out there in L.A., and Ed booked things all around. He was global, so he got us that gig in Osaka.
Okay.
And in order for us to get there, we had to get to L.A. in order for us, because they weren't going to fly us from Detroit to Japan. You know, you get to L.A., gig is on. Otherwise, we'll see. So
we actually went there, about 4 or 5 months early,
yeah.
just so we could tighten up the stuff that we were going to take to Japan.
Now, how did Japan go?
Japan was great. It was absolutely great.
Now, how long were you there?
3 months each time, right?
Yeah, actually, we were there a little longer in Osaka.
4 months. It was 4.
Yeah, because dude picked up the option to keep our band there.
All right.
That's
Extra
right.
months. And we were the Paradise Band.
That's right.
That was
Paradise.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you sang the jazz.
No.
No. You
We were actually
top
doing
40.
Top
Okay.
40.
And then we started writing.
Probably doing a bit more of the funky thing, because the people in Japan told us exactly what they wanted. They wanted a funk band.
All right.
And they wanted 2 horn players and a full rhythm section, and we were up front. So they described exactly what they wanted, and so that's what we put together. They didn't know that, but that's what we put together.
And they bought into it, and you guys had a great time out there, it sounds.
Fabulous.
Oh yeah, we did, because we were good. We were good.
The room seated 2,000 people, and at night the ceiling would open. It was the most gorgeous. It was a wonderful venue.
Did you fill it up?
Yes.
2,000?
Yes.
How many shows a week did you do?
We were there 5 nights.
Yeah.
5 nights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were rocking that place.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the word of mouth spread too.
Well, I think it was called The Bottom Line, and I think it was probably one of the larger clubs in Osaka.
Okay.
And the family that owned it pretty much owned the whole block. I said, I don't even understand that kind of money. But they did, and so the interesting thing is when we went over there, we didn't have. They wanted to. They also said that your band must have uniforms, and it has to be uniform. So we had, when we went over there, the band had 2 uniforms, 2 outfits to wear, and thank God for Doris and I, because we had worked together in Sweet Thunder, and so we had like tons of outfits. So every night we had a different change, and for a while that worked. And then we had some outfits made for the guys in the band when we got to Japan, because it was extremely cheap, and they did a great job, and they did it quickly, because just about the time they mentioned the fact that so I've only seen the band in like 2 changes of what's up with that, And then we had just gotten the stuff that day, so the rest of that week they had a different change.
Nice.
So that worked out really well, but I forgot about that.
Okay, so from Japan, did you come to Minneapolis or did you stay in L.A.?
No, stayed in L.A. So went back to
Tokyo.
L.A., and then our band, which is too bad, that was a killing band.
Yes, it was.
Kicking band. They wanted us back, and actually they didn't really care what band we came back as long as we came back. So we put another band together. We were Paradise there too, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Put another band together, and that one we had Rusty Allen
From Sly Stone.
who was the bass player for Sly.
No kidding.
Who left Sly Stone, was the bass player from Sly Stone.
Yeah.
Who else did we have?
We had Gladys Knight horn players.
Right.
The guy that was on keyboards and organ was with
Somebody.
Oh Happy Day. Oh Happy Day. Hawkins. Edwin Hawkins.
Hawkins. Yeah.
And
So we ran back and forth from Hollywood to Oakland to practice with these guys and get ready to go.
they flew us too.
Oh yeah, they flew us. We were serious about doing this. We had a job and we had to get ready for it, so we were going back and forth to Oakland. And then we left and we went to Tokyo that time. And we were at
Do you remember? I don't
What was the name of that?
I don't know.
Oh,
All I
jeez.
can remember is Shaka Khan's sister preceded
Taco
her.
Boom.
Oh,
Taco Boom worked there.
Taco Boom?
Taco Boom was Chaka Khan's sister.
What was that?
And the only thing that was good about Taco Boom was Chaka Khan was her sister.
That is great. That is great.
And she, oh God. Huh? I don't care. You know I'm right.
Well, Doris is trying to keep your mouth
Yeah, she
a little
knows.
closed on this one. But you know, the lovely thing about it is there's only about 600 people that watch this right now. So the community
She'll be
is,
one of
is
'em.
yes. Shaka Khan's sister. Taco, what was her name?
Taco Boom.
Taco Boom.
Taka.
Like
Taka.
Shaka, and she's Taka.
Taka.
Yeah.
She
Okay,
had a
because
hit
it
song.
reminded me of Taco Bell.
She had a hit song. When we get off here, look up You Plus Me.
You plus me.
Yeah.
All right, so
Taco
everybody
Bell.
look up You plus me. It'll be Taco Bell. Yeah. So somebody's got a phone ringing, but that's okay because we expect those type of things here. All right, so you were pretty big in the jazz community in California.
After we came back from Tokyo, Doris and I did a few showcases and stuff around there, but then Doris got married and had a child, and I ended up singing by myself. So near to sit back and say, I lost. If I was ever shy, it went away. 'Cause I would like go to showcases. I would go to different jazz places where people were playing and see if I could sit in. And I didn't do that before I went there. I was rather on the shy side.
Shy
but
side?
shy went away. Cause
Did you need Doris to help you get on stage? Because I don't think you're too shy, Doris.
No, but we had a manager.
Yeah, we did
So
have
we
a
didn't have to
manager.
do anything except perform.
Okay.
Because Chuck was really, really good. Our manager was, you ever heard of Sonny James, the country singer Sonny James?
I have.
The country
Southern
James.
gentleman.
That was his nephew.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
He got
so
us with Warner
it's
Curve
almost turning
Records,
into the
too.
who's who of music industry right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we did go to Nashville.
Yeah, we recorded with Warner Curve Records.
Why Nashville? I mean, is because it's just
Because
good
that's where his
studios?
uncle was.
That's where his uncle was?
And that's where the deal came from.
Yeah, well, you got to go to where it's at, right?
That's right.
And there was, still is, it wasn't as crazy as it is now, but there were some phenomenal musicians there.
Oh, yeah.
And so actually when we first went in the studio, y'all gonna have to get mad if you hear it, Tim. We recorded with the musicians from Nashville. Killing players, doing some songs that they picked out for us. I don't know how keen I was on some of the songs, but they worked out well, you know, because we were like an amazing duo. I have to say we were an amazing duo, and we just really knew each other so well that literally if something came up and they wanted harmonies, we didn't even have to discuss who was going to take what part. We just do it.
Yeah.
Now, is there any kind of future plans for a reunion?
Not unless I can figure out a way to pull it up on stage. Just
Well,
saying.
we sing with,
Come on,
Oh, my
Doris, just get
brother.
up on stage and reunite.
we do with the gospel group. I sing with them with the gospel group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Williams Gospel Group. We
Okay.
sing.
March 26th at the Dakota. It's going to be at the Dakota, March 26th.
March 26th.
2019.
The gospel group or Debbie? Or both of you?
Robert Robinson, my brother William Duncan, myself, and WDP, which is the William Duncan
Project.
Thank you. Which are those? So I sing with them, sing up front.
Okay. Okay. So you know where I'm going to be tonight?
No.
Where?
The Dakota.
Who's
at the
there?
Dakota?
Paris
I
Chanson.
looked them up. What is, are they a
You know,
group?
They are a group, and they travel the country. I've seen them once, and I'm going to see them again with Olga. They're Ukrainian, French. I think there's maybe one of them's Russian. I don't know, but they sing. That's all
I
right.
took this out to cut it off.
Hey, you know what? I got a phone call from the Smithsonian. and they were looking for that phone.
Shut up. You know they talk about my flip phone. That's all right. It is an old flip phone, and actually, if I hadn't broken this one, I wouldn't.
Why don't you show the crowd the flip phone? Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
It's an older flip phone. It's not the newer one. It's an older flip phone.
It does. So that's why the Smithsonian was checking in, looking for it.
That's good. You're good.
Well, all right. So these guys sing, and they sing a lot of the French jazz.
Okay.
And they sing it. You know, I mean, I'm a newbie to all this. You know, I just started about a year ago, just really going, wow, this is phenomenal music.
Kind of like Cotton Club. I'm not Cotton Club. Club.
Club Nouveau.
Jocko. Oh, my brain is.
Well, if you can get down there tonight, you should check them out because they're pretty good. I mean, they sing all different kinds of music, from folk music, some of the Jewish folk music, to classic jazz that you've heard of many times.
Okay.
So, and in fact, I just saw a Brazilian jazz band. Can't tell you the name of them, but because it's Portuguese, they were phenomenal. It's a different sound than American jazz, but
yeah, I enjoyed that.
yeah, it's real good. So, the topic that we were just talking about, I just forgot about because we were all having some fun. But the Dakota. So I'm going to be there tonight, and hopefully it'll be a good show. If you can get down there, check it out.
I'll try and make it.
So, you went to Nashville. You sang some songs that you didn't think were the best ones.
They came out great. They really did. They're not songs that I would have picked out to do, because actually they were old. Sound like old rock and roll tunes, right?
Party Down.
Yeah, Party Down, and I'm just thinking about Party. Come on, let me be a party. She did this little talking thing on the end of it. We did.
Now, where can I get this kind of music? You can't get it?
Not this. This was Shell.
Chuck will send it to you.
You guys should put this out if it's that good.
Oh God, no, because
We've got it at home.
Never sing
Yeah?
it again.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff at
Well,
home.
the thing today is I don't know. There's a thing called digital, and you can put it online, and people will buy it. So you don't need a record anymore, a hard copy. But
I'm old-fashioned, so I have to have somebody around me that goes, Debbie, please come into the century that we're in.
well, I hear you. But if you had it, I would love to hear it. So I like stuff like that, the peculiar, the odd, type of music that I've never heard. That'd be fantastic.
Plus, we wrote songs when we were in Japan.
Yeah.
I just remember saying, I don't write. I've never written a song. And I went, well, I'm lying. I didn't know I was lying. I forgot.
All right, now I have to beg for the question. The question is how did you end up in Minneapolis?
Oh, that's what we were talking
And it sounds like your brother's here.
Yeah, well, he came here after I was here.
Okay.
William's been here about 10 years, and I've been here over 30 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I actually came here to work at Rupert's nightclub.
Okay.
Which is no longer in existence, but it was amazing, and it was the first thing of its kind in this area. They got the idea out of Chicago, but then they took it and made it a little bit better than what it was in Chicago. And the Webb brothers, built that whole area, that whole complex out there. It started out being Rupert's, and then they had an American cafe to it, and then there was an Italian restaurant added to it. And I came out here literally to work for, I think, 6 months, because I was going to take the place of one of the Steele girls, or maybe both of them that were Geraldine and Javita Steele. They were working there, but the gospel colonists came up and they had to leave and go do that. So I came in to take their place. They were supposedly coming back for the gospel colonists to come back to Rupert's. They didn't. And Rupert's begged me to stay. And then they made me an offer that I couldn't refuse. And I sort of sat back and said, I would have been gone from Los Angeles in the Hollywood area for 6 months. And that would be like starting all over when I went back.
Right.
Out of sight, out of mind. And the interesting thing is I had, when I was doing jazz there, I was doing the Hungry Tigers. I got hooked up with the Hungry Tigers. I actually went from like really struggling to work to actually getting things pretty steady and working out there. And I said, well, I'll come here and do that, and then I'll go back. And because that wasn't, when I came here, that wasn't jazz. I just hooked up with jazz players that played in the Rupert's Orchestra. Because after being here the 6 months, part of me said, yeah, I'll stay, because it's kind of hard for me to say no to this offer that they're offering me. But I got to find me some jazz clubs to work in, because I was like, well, I can't do this shit. Lord have mercy, they'll scream me right out. What? And the favorite songs that they want to do regularly were like screaming songs. I'm like going, hello?
Gonna lose that voice.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to lose it. But, you know, I had stopped doing it. Because when we were together, we did all sorts of crazy things. But I had stopped doing that, and I was really doing what I really, really wanted to do. Even though, you know, I was me and the keyboard player for years. I was at the Westchester Hungry Tiger. Danny Andrews. Yeah.
Well, you didn't forget Danny's name.
No, I worked with him too long.
I'm just saying.
He's bad.
Well, I'm just trying to be a good host here. And throw stuff out, and if you take it, you take it. If you don't, you don't.
That's how I came here. And then I had all these cats that were playing in the band that we were, you know, on our breaks, we'd get together and I'd get to sitting around talking to Gary Rayner, who I work with all the time now, when Jay Young can't do it. But we were talking, I said, Gary. And the reason I got called to Minneapolis was because of the drummer. His name was Peter Johnson. And he and I had a trio together in Los Angeles. So he told Dick Whitbeck, who was they were looking for somebody. Somehow he managed to have a tape of some stuff that we did. He goes, you need to listen to this woman and try and get her here. This is who you need to get here.
Right.
And he did, and I did, and I've been here ever since.
The rest is history. Now, Doris, when did you come?
I've only been, it'll be 3 years in August.
3 years. Okay. How do you like Minneapolis?
I love it. This is a wonderful place. I've met the most fabulous people. I really, really like it here.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I like it here, too.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Trying to get back at me. All right, so I want to jump into the 440 when I saw you. I want to commend. I really enjoyed your bass player.
That Jay Young?
Yeah.
Jay Forever Young.
Forever Young. You know what? He can play that thing.
Oh, my
and
God.
it's phenomenal.
Yes, he is.
Absolutely
You know,
ridiculous.
that was unbelievable. When he was playing, I was just sitting there looking at him like, seriously, awestruck.
Remember the song that she does, her arrangement of The Way You Make Me Feel, and it's just her and him predominantly?
Yeah, you know what? I was sitting next to the people that were going back and forth with you, and I started to do it too. You know what I'm talking about, where they had the chant?
Yeah,
I don't know if
of
they're your groupies or anything, or friends, but that was
That
so
was-
much fun.
That was me, her brother, and Grace.
Okay, well, I started to do it too, and Olga's got it on film, because I started to sing along with you guys.
All right.
Probably not what you wanted to hear me sing, but I tried. That was
fun.
phenomenal
Wasn't that
song.
wonderful?
It was.
She was fabulous.
Yeah,
The room was nice. It was just really, really a good time.
yeah, that was. But Forever Young, he's good. He's very good. Hopefully he
named
gets a
him
lot
that.
of work, because
Jay works. I have to stay ahead of things to make sure I have Jay on stage.
yeah, because he's phenomenal.
Because he does that and a lot of the theater stuff that comes here. He's probably in the pit playing too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen anybody play the upright, I think it's called, like that. It was
Yeah.
almost, I've seen bass players, like the rock and roll type, normal guitar bass players play. Some of them are phenomenal. But he did it with this upright,
Yeah.
and he wasn't he's probably classically trained, but he didn't play it like a classical.
Probably because he's absolutely stupid on bass guitar.
Is he?
He's stupid good on
Is
bass
he?
guitar.
Wow.
Just know that. So he's had his upright bass for a while, and because of his knowledge on bass guitar, that's usually his druther. But he had more and more jazz gigs coming up, and so he got himself an upright. And to me, the difference between the two, they sound totally different, but the difference between the two of them to me is this and that. So it's
Right.
just different positions. But the board and the strings are out a lot farther on the upright bass, and so you have to really get yourself used to doing that. I finally told him, I said, you know what, Jay? Unless you have to, bring that. What you got it for if you ain't gonna play it? Bring it. Let's play it.
All right, so one of the reasons I really wanted you two on here, to have two people on, is because you guys have known each other 46 years.
Yes.
And to me, that's phenomenal. And I could see how you guys got along on the stage at the 440 Club.
Yeah.
And friendships come and go with some people, and sometimes they stick like glue.
Yeah.
So how did your friendship stick
I
like
knew
glue?
it from day one. When I met her in 1972, we worked at this place called Durani's. It was a restaurant. We were waitressing, and I walked up to her and I said, "We're gonna be friends forever. I swear to God."
Is that true, Dor? Or is that true,
Can
Debbie?
you tell us apart? No, wait.
I can't.
And she looked at me and she was like, "Okay, you can back off, okay?" You know, because she had just met me.
Right.
But I knew. I knew.
And we've
So-
been friends ever since.
So you basically have 5 sisters. Because you have a relationship with her that's almost
Oh,
like
no,
a sister.
She's definitely a
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah.
You know, she's been part of not just us.
Our parents, my
parents
mother,
were
her
friends.
mother.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a family thing.
Yeah.
We just became two families become one.
Wow. That's the part I want to talk about.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Besides you saying it's going to happen. I mean, I know that you're a very religious person. And you think it was some kind of religious type of like God put you two together,
Of course he did.
or how does that work? I mean, because you guys are
just-
pretty tight.
Yeah, well,
My intuition, and you can just.
we just got along really
Yeah.
quickly, and I think working at the Randy's had a lot to do.
You got any good Durante stories for us?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Just throw one at me. I'm curious now. What did 2 young women working as a waitress, what kind of good fun do you have back then?
well, they were. I mean, I don't know how I ever made it as a waitress, and yet I did. I was a cocktail waitress, as a bartender. I did all that. I did that. I just didn't take any crap off of anybody.
We owned a restaurant together too.
Really?
Yeah.
That
Many
was funny.
stories.
Okay, so you owned a restaurant, you're waitresses. What else? And you were singing together.
Yep.
Yep.
All of that.
Yeah, we had to let the restaurant go because when we got the restaurant, which was given to us, basically,
We had a godfather,
yeah, he gave
Like an
us-
actual
real-
godfather. Or an Italian
an
godfather.
Italian godfather, a
Really?
mafia godfather. Yeah.
And he just said, here, take my restaurant over?
No, what he said, because he really, we called him Daddy John, and he was so cool. Anyways, he just said to us, I think you need to get into a business, to establish yourself in a business, and I've got this restaurant I want you to run. I'm just going to give it to you. And I went, what? I said, Daddy
So-
John, I don't know about running anybody's restaurant.
And he
Mouth
said, "Oh,
was-
sweetie baby, you can do
That
it,
was
sweetie
it.
baby."
All right, I got to tell you, you guys both have to work on the Italian accents. We're not that good. We're not.
Daddy John didn't have an Italian accent.
He
He
really
Oh.
didn't.
He really
He
did.
was straight.
Sweetie baby.
Sweetie baby.
Sweetie baby.
And so he gave you the restaurant. What was it called?
I don't even remember what
Oh
the
my
restaurant
God,
was
me
called.
either. It was on Third and Third what's Third up Mac?
Third and Mac.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forget the
In
name.
Detroit.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
around the corner from the Masonic Temple. The Masonic Temple is a place in Detroit that,
Has done phenomenal acts.
and they have phenomenal people. Patti LaBelle, the biggest names you can think of have been there.
Santana.
Yeah, oh my
We went
God.
to see Santana. That was too cool.
Bill Withers.
Okay, so now I'm going to have to ask you another question. Who are the most famous people you've ever met or played with?
Al Jarreau. That's all I can tell you.
Al
Who
Jarreau.
else?
Yeah?
Yeah, we knew Al in L.A.
Oh, Earth, Wind, and Fire. We cooked for them. They loved our food.
Well, you at your restaurant. You didn't play for them?
No,
you cooked for
this
them.
was in California.
No,
Oh.
we really that.
All right, see, now, I don't know all the terminology. You cooked for them. To me, that's
We
like we're
did.
going back to the restaurant.
We marinated lamb chops in Kool-Aid, and we grilled them, and they loved them.
What kind of Kool-Aid? Grape?
Grape and cherry, we mixed it.
On a
Did you
little
put sugar?
hibachi.
No,
Little
we
hibachi.
use cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Yeah,
How do you guys come up with these things?
we don't know.
Seriously, let's try this.
He's just making it up, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, make it up as we go.
So fun.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
That's-
the restaurant that Daddy John gave us. Anyways, we took the restaurant. We took the restaurant, and at the time that we took it, our band had just started, and so we weren't working as much. But as soon as we got this restaurant and went in there and cleaned it up and did everything, we started working like 5 nights a week. Now this restaurant opened up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay. We would usually be getting home about 3 o'clock in the morning because the club stayed open
Till 2.
2.
We didn't
That's
get
right.
home until 4:30, 4:45.
And we
So-
would have to be there at 6. We would ask
You didn't split your shifts or anything, or did you both have to do it together?
We did everything together.
Yeah,
Okay.
we all did it together. We did have this one lady that was working in there that said she had been working there forever. You know,
Daddy.
they had people that had worked at this restaurant forever, and legitimately, when we took it over, over half the staff quit because they weren't handling 2 women coming in there running, 2 young women coming in there running, and 2 young black women coming in there running. So we had that issue that we dealt with. And the only people that stayed on was the waitress,
Betty
the waitress, and the cook, who was an older fella. I can't think of his name, but he had a little shaky issue like that. And he
Like a Tourette's issue, or just a
I
shaky?
think it was alcohol.
old,
Alcohol.
and he was old.
Well,
I mean, I have nothing against seniors. I'm a senior, but he was old.
all right. So you're gonna have. I have to dig into another question now. This was what year? What year, approximately?
1975.
75.
76. It was 76 because we started, like Sweet Thunder started in like 75, and we were doing like little, what was that place called? The Park.
I don't know.
Okay, whatever it was. And we would
Don't
do
know.
out there at the park, and then we would do other little things that were in Livonia, and we started working at this place called the Sandbox, which was on Middle Belt.
That's a classic name. I like that. The
And we
Sandbox.
worked at a lot of places. We worked at Don't Touch Your Mustache. The mustache.
Your mustache.
Your mustache. And
Angie's,
Angie's. And
Black Orchid.
well, yeah.
You got a memory like a vault.
Really, because I'm like, Doris would be going, remember when we did such and such and such a thing? And I go, nope.
Well, maybe it's good you don't remember. Maybe it's good.
Was it really? Did we really?
So the staff at this restaurant had issues because you were young black women coming in
Yeah,
and running.
they were predominantly Caucasian people, and
Restaurant had been there a long time.
a long time, and it was in an area that was, for lack of a better word, I'm not going to say hillbilly.
Oh, that'll work.
Okay.
And,
All right.
So they
and
weren't
then-
ready for
Little
that.
hillbilly action going on.
Yeah,
But
and they
then-
weren't ready for
And it was
that.
1975.
76, you know, and they weren't
76.
ready for that. They
And then, but they weren't there. The bulk, I would say, the bulk of our crowd came from the place across the street that.
Well, the state, there was a state office
There
there.
was a state office there.
State of
You know,
Michigan.
There for breakfast and lunch.
But we had it was a bunch of people that came. They really came in there at 6 o'clock. It would be lines. And
This
we're
place
really
had been
good
there for
cooks.
All right,
Wow.
so
Just
I always go back to this, and maybe just because I'm younger and a different generation or anything, but it doesn't really matter what color a person is. It's if there's going to be success, don't you want to get on that train?
yeah.
I mean, that's the way I see things. If you guys came in and kicked ass and were having lines and lines and lines, that means more money in their pocket.
Well, they were thinking
Right, or am I
about
wrong?
that. They were thinking about the
They
people
don't.
that
You
they had
can't
worked
think
with
like
was
that
a,
when you
was a
think in
family
prejudice.
thing.
You are blinded, and you're at a loss with that type of positive thinking when you think predominantly in colors code. You understand what I'm
I'm
saying?
saying what you. I'm following you.
So they can't. They don't reap that benefit of that kind of goodness, because you go off to your own little hole and just deal with the people that's inside of this water bottle when there's a whole ocean out. You follow me?
Exactly.
So
Well, that's part of why I like traveling. You know how many
Yeah.
different people I see and meet, and
Oh, yeah.
it's
Isn't it
unbelievable.
cool?
I was just in Brazil, and I was sitting there watching this whole thing, and they have Portuguese, Caucasians, blacks. They have the, like the natives, and they all just do whatever they do, and there's not
a
the race
rainbow of
issues
color.
that we
Right.
have here in the U.S. And I was trying to figure out
need
why.
prayer.
So I'm going to go back and read on Brazilian history to figure out there has to be something. I don't know what it is, but nonetheless, we
need
need
to
more
go to
prayer.
Brazil.
I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah, because prayer and open. You gotta open up your heart and stuff, and quit hoarding everything. The more you give and the more open you are, the more you can receive.
I agree.
So
And it's good for everybody if everybody's,
Heck yeah.
So I don't understand it, but I've been
me
trying
either,
to
and
figure
I'm
this
glad
out
I
over
was
the
never,
last.
wasn't cursed. I think it's a curse on you myself.
Yeah, I think you're kind of
lose.
right. I think you're kind of right there. All right, so Doris, the first thing you ever said to me, you walked up to me and you pointed at me. Do you remember what you said?
No, what
You
did I
said,
say?
"That woman loves you." Do you remember that? When I was sitting with
Olga.
Olga. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Now, how did you know that?
Because I could tell by the way she looked at you.
Really?
Yes. And when I said, she lit up. Did you see her?
Well, I was looking at you, so I wasn't, because you came at me like a ball of fire. I'm going to tell you that. You just walked up
That
to
would
me.
be Doris.
Yeah.
Okay.
You walked up to me. I had never met you, and you just walked up to me, and that's the first thing you said. And then you
Yeah.
introduced
Her
yourself. and-
little face. You still,
I was singing.
I know.
well, that wasn't it, like right after
Oh.
you were singing.
Okay.
And we had met one of Olga's friends at a bar that was nearby, and he says, "I don't want to stay here. Duncan is playing. I gotta go see her."
Yay.
And I'm like, "Oh," he told us about you, and I said, "Let's go." And we had the hell of a time trying to find that place.
I know.
You know.
You don't know where you're going with that one. That was because when we first went over there, we pulled it into a whole nother area.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. It's insane. I wish they had a better location. But what their facilities, it's small, intimate. It's
Yeah.
really a nice facility.
Yeah, it
You know.
is.
Well,
And
it's
that's what they do. Yeah, it's a studio
It's
for
a
doing
studio.
EPKs.
For putting
And that's
on.
what she's doing, so her music can get out and
So what is an EPK?
electronic promotional kit. Because these days, when you used to have agents and showcases?
Yeah.
Now you do this kit. So she'll pick the song she wants, and then we'll go through and search and find out clubs all over the world that she wants to play at, and we'll shoot these kits to her.
Oh,
Well, the other
so
thing
you are
is-
your own agent now.
Oh, I've been. It's nice that she's come here to take some of the load off of me, but I've been booking
That's what
my
she-
own
yeah.
stuff
For
forever.
years? Yeah.
Forever. Yeah, because I was getting tired. I was going, dang,
So-
when does this stop?
Debbie, now is there any kind of album or release coming out, or do you have anything that's out there at this point?
I actually have. Was this my 5th CD?
I think so, sweetie.
This, I just released one.
2018.
So there's a CD.
Yeah. There's a,
What's the name of it?
It's,
That's yours.
there it is.
Oh, look at that. Full circle.
Yep.
Full circle.
There's a reason for it.
Now you
Full
know that
circle.
remember the Doors?
God, yes.
The Doors had an album after Jim Morrison died,
Okay. No, I didn't
just
know
with the
that.
3 guys, not the 4 of them.
Okay.
The 2 guys. It's called Full Circle.
Is it?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Well, see,
it's amazing.
didn't
But
I-
this is good. Now I will listen to this. In fact, do you mind if I put this on the intro and at the end of the show, one of the
No.
songs?
Hope so.
All right. I just don't want you suing me later after this becomes 280,000 views.
Did you know that August 24th is Debbie Duncan Day in the state of Minnesota?
I did not know that.
Da 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 da.
Every year?
Every year.
And so do you put on a special concert?
Well, we did this year. I just said thank you for the award. It's very, very nice, and I took it and I put it in my drawer at home. And I did take some pictures and send some copies to my family to go look what they did.
So who gave you that award?
Governor Palini.
Oh, yeah, Governor Palenti.
So Tim Pawlenty gave it to you, what, about 10 years
Oh
ago?
God, no. When was it? I don't know.
Well, I don't know how, he hasn't been in office for a while.
Well, it was when he was in office, and that's when it was.
Time's flying, Debbie.
No, you have to understand, I have no concept of time. I'm really, really very, very bad with time also. Did that happen like, you know what, a year ago? No, Deb, that was like 6 years ago. Okay, well, there you go.
I think that's a
Horrible.
common thing with artists.
I think
The
so,
more I
too.
meet artists, the more I realize that they don't have, they're not in the same continuum
No,
as like I am, where time. I'm very regulated by time.
no, I'm not that kind of regulated. I'm regulated about what time I have to start and what time I have to end. And the only thing I'm good at is the starting. Usually, if you have a time limit of less than an hour for me for a set or a show or whatever, you would be best to have somebody standing there going,
I think that Doris just did that to me. So you're probably, that's probably your gal right there,
oh, absolutely.
you know?
I would be just getting ready to do something and she'll come out and stand in front of me.
So how do you do that, though? You're singing a song, you look over to your left, and Doris is doing this.
No, Doris will come right in front of me
Oh,
because I probably won't look to my left.
you won't look to your left.
She's going to make sure I see her, which is a good thing. And now and then, some of the people I work with, if she's not there, if they have a definite time set up, I will tell them, I said, then you need to find a place to cue me when I have like 5 minutes left, so I may cut out everything else in my set and just do the last two. Because I don't have time to be looking at a watch. I don't even wear a watch.
You know what I liked about your EPK? Is that you decided to do another couple songs over.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, but you did a couple more songs twice. And
Oh,
you
wow.
and they were all great, but you were trying to get it right. Or something there, maybe somebody in the
Yeah.
band said, now your piano player
Adi.
came up to you and wanted to do something differently, I think. I think that's what it was for one of the songs.
Well, we did do one song over, because I know we didn't get a good cut on it, so we did it over just so that we could get a good cut on it.
Now your piano player is pretty good too.
My
And your saxophone, everybody you're playing with is pretty good, actually.
I don't play with nobody slouchy.
Well, you know what? They're very good musicians. And
Did you know that Audie was Whitney Houston's musical director?
I did not know that. See, you're the who's who of music here.
Well, he
She works with great people.
and Michael Baker was his musical director, and Audie did tons and tons of arrangements with her and was on her last tour with her. He also did tons and tons of arrangements for Aretha Franklin, too.
Really?
He also still does a lot of the songs that you hear on The Voice, the music and the arrangements in the
Really?
background. That's
Oh,
Audie.
so he's a big cheese somewhere out there.
Well, he'll never tell you that, but he's
He
a
is.
phenomenal arranger. Just ridiculously good.
Yeah, I think that the reason you did that song over is because he was trying to work with your bassist, and they were trying to arrange something between the two of them.
Could be.
Yeah, I don't know. But it was interesting to watch that, how you, they made you do another song.
Well, yeah, if we were going to do this, we might as well get it right.
That's right. So that EPK, I'm having a hard time with that one. You send that out to wherever you want to play. Where are you
Well,
sending it
the
these
people
days?
that we want to get, well, we're still mixing it down. We just finished mixing it down, so we'll probably get it by, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks. We should have it. And then I'm going to Memphis to do a concert there at the German.
Performing Arts Center.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that, and from that point on, we'll start sending stuff out. There are some places that are kind of already waiting to get some stuff from us, because they won't even talk to you.
if you
They
don't
just
have
don't
one.
even talk to you. They
Even
don't-
with your name, they won't say, "Hey, we know your history. We know."
no,
That's
Come
just
on in.
here. You know, and if you're trying to get out of the country and stuff like that.
you know, I've been
True.
some places in Paris, so we're gonna send some stuff back to them. And I've been some places in Italy. We're gonna send some stuff back to them.
When you go to Italy, let me know.
Okay.
I would love to go see you there.
Yeah.
You know,
I
that would be
love
so
it.
cool.
I really.
I've never been to Italy, and everybody's telling me I need to go. So I might as well go for a reason. You know what I mean?
I got a reason.
I'm going. See Debbie play or sing.
Yeah.
I know when I was there, was it Paris?
So where do you want to go? Where have you not been? That's where I'd be sending them.
There's a lot of places I haven't been.
Well,
So my goal, sorry Minnesota and you guys, I love you. But I would prefer to be out on the road right now, doing concerts
yeah.
in different places and play around here once in a while. So that, you can overexpose yourself in a place until people, not intentionally, I don't think anybody does anything intentionally, but like just say, okay, I'm playing at such and such a place at such and such a time, and then they'll look at the schedule and go, oh yeah, well she's going to be over here in about 3 weeks, I won't go to that, I'll go to that.
Right.
So, and I've been around for a minute. I've gone from being what they call me, the busiest working woman in show business, because I was stupid when I first put my first album out. I was stupid. I looked at one of my schedules one time and I went, oh, when was I off? Wow.
I hope you made some good money doing that, though.
I survived. My brain is that way. My brain is that, what a blessing I get to do what I do for a living. But I think unless you're extremely known or whatever, you do a little more than survive. Now, depending on what you do, I'm just singing in clubs. I did do the black belts. I did a couple of theater things. What was it? Blues in the Night. We did it the Ordway.
You opened for Herbie Hancock.
Oh, I opened for a lot of folks. I opened for Herbie Hancock.
Herbie Hancock. Wow, that's a well-known name.
I've opened.
Who else?
Opened for Lou Rawls. I opened for Stefford Capelli. I was opened for one of the last gigs that Miles Davis did.
Mm.
I opened for. I wish I could remember all the people I opened for. A lot of folks.
And where are these agents? I don't understand. They should be knocking at her door. You follow what I'm saying?
I do.
She's so good at what she's doing, and she shouldn't have to go through this.
Well,
But you do.
she has to pay him, though. Are you willing to pay
Or
agent to do that?
they get paid out of booking you.
Well, when they're booking, there's when they book it, they come up with the blah blah blah. I tell them this is what I want to make, so they charge this much so that they get their percentage
Right.
over and above what I want to make. So that's kind of like their job. So I don't ask anybody to do anything for free for me. I'll pay
Right.
you what you need to get what you get paid for your job. There are agents and there are managers and everybody and their mother taking stuff out of your money, but I don't really care as long as I'm getting a decent amount to cover what I need to cover. I never went into singing, honestly, I reached my goal. You have a goal to where you want to be and what you want to achieve and what you want to do. I did that so quickly and so long ago that I'm not sure. It took me a while to come up with another goal.
Right.
So my goal now is just to play as much around the world in concerts and other stuff as I can.
That's a good goal. Now, I want to ask you a question. I've had Pierre Douglas on the show. Have you ever heard of
I know
Baddies
that
Comedy?
name. No, but you were telling us about it. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Baddies Comedy. Baddies.
We're going.
And it's in Minneapolis. Look it up online.
Oh,
Pierre is a phenomenal comedian, and I think you would really like him.
I think
You got to
I've
take all
met
your friends
him
down there,
before.
too, and just go have a
Yeah.
good time.
I think I've met him before.
is he open just on weekends or?
He has shows sporadically as he brings in new talent and
Okay.
things like that. It's not sporadic. It's like every weekend, but sometimes there's weekday shows.
I'll be on
and-
it as soon as I leave here.
Yeah, check him out. Now, you had another thing you wanted to talk about with the airline or the airport or the airline ambassadors
Yeah.
with human trafficking.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I work for Delta Airlines, and they're very big in that, and every employee knows about it because it's part of our training to be able to identify, be
Yep,
able all
yep.
that stuff.
That's what Marie said.
So you have a friend, Marie Rivard.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what she's doing, and this is something that you both believe in. So
She's in Catacool. She's out of the country, okay? I can't think of the name of the country that she's in. She left yesterday, and she's at an orphanage. It's 15 boys that are in this orphanage because of the sex trafficking. And they needed soccer balls, and they're in need of, you know, clothing, sports things, you know, to keep them occupied. And she travels around globally helping these children and trying to keep them in a safe, like a safe haven. And so that they'll have things that a child should have, and they can play the way a child should play.
And also, she's deals with the people that help to give you guys training and stuff to recognize.
She does that too.
She's been doing that for a while to recognize, you know, them bringing some, because they used to just bring the kids on the plane.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
And nobody
you wouldn't
said
know,
nothing.
and the kids aren't going to say anything because they either
scared to
threaten
death.
to kill their parents or kill their family or whatever. They get something on them, you know. And the fact that before these kids even got on the plane, they've been raped. There's all sorts of insane things that go. The heaviest customer of these kids and these girls are right here in the United States and Canada.
Yeah.
And where was it? I was someplace else, and I was going. I say you need to go after the ones that are buying them. That set up
I agree.
regular stings. I don't care who they are. You know it's got to be somebody that's got some money because there's nothing cheap that they're doing to get these to get what they have to get. I would set up stings. Instead of, because sometimes they sit back and blame these kids
They punish
for
them.
punish the kids.
They got a law passed. They just got a law passed where the children weren't incarcerated for being involved in sex trafficking scenarios. Now the children don't get incarcerated, and they try to get them some sort of counseling.
And this is what
That's what
Marie does.
There's there should be a website or something.
Yeah.
If you want to know more about it,
Let me read it for everybody. It's airlineamb.org.
that's it.
And Marie Rivard.
That's right.
And what Marie is looking for is help
Yes.
to try to help these
Yes.
children.
Help, yep, to help them, and then to get the word out, and to
Really
help
to get the
pass
word
laws
out.
to make the laws more stringent so these people will stop this.
I agree with Debbie. You got to. It's just like the drug trade. You got to go
Yeah.
after the users.
Yeah.
You know. But the problem, I'm just coming into this cold. But the problem I see is you got to follow the money, and wherever the
Yeah.
money is,
Yep.
you got to get the buyer and the seller.
Yeah.
Get them both.
Absolutely.
You know, once
Absolutely.
you close that pipeline, then
Yeah.
these kids can live a good life.
Yeah.
But right now, you know, they're being stolen from their families, and
That's what I'm
you know what?
talking
They're being
about.
stolen from a childhood. We all had good childhoods, didn't we?
Yes.
We
Just
had
imagine if you
childhood.
didn't have that.
Yeah, they don't have it. They steal them, and then what they do to keep them from doing anything is they threaten the kid's family, or they threaten them. My God, when you're that young, or somebody threatens to kill you,
Or
and
kill your dad and
family, or
mom
your
and
mom and your sisters and brothers.
And you're
what else
7
are
or
you gonna
8
do?
years old.
yeah.
And you can't say anything. Don't even look like you got a problem, you know, because you're sitting right there next to them. Don't start me. It just
Well,
upsets me.
let's try to get the word out because I think that there's a lot of people that watch this that can help. And
Yeah.
go to this website, and if they can help, just email Marie, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe we get some kind of benefit concert going on. You
Sounds
thought about
good.
that?
Yeah, well, we did, but that didn't get advertised well because
Well, I would
know.
sell the hell out of it through this venue, but I have a lot of other venues that I could help you with.
When she gets back in the country, she'll
should
get
talk
together.
about that.
Yeah.
I would actually like to know. I'd like to talk to her to see if she's been
You
in
would love
contact
her.
with Delta Airlines and see if.
well, she does a lot of the stuff through Delta.
Yeah, but-
she's part of the reason that you all get the training.
Okay. And if you've been in the airport, you see the signs now.
Yeah.
You know, you see signs,
Yeah.
you see all that stuff. Okay, well, I don't need to do
She's
that.
been behind all of that. She's been doing it
She's
for
a
a long
wonderful
time.
woman.
Now, how did you meet Marie?
Marie likes music.
Okay.
basically. She's heard me perform. Marie, I didn't even know how far we went back. She went back to when I sang with Mumbles Combo in TC Jammers. That was a while ago. My little thing since I've been in this city, I'm not involved with any one set of music or little music cliques or whatever. I just go, yeah, I'll sing with you. Yeah, I'll sing with you. It's all music to me.
Well, I think that's the passion. You know, as I try to get this podcast up, I try to get people in here with passions. And both of you guys have passions. Now tell me how important the church is for both of you.
Church?
Church. Church.
I said church.
We go to Unity Church.
Okay, in Minneapolis, right?
Yeah,
Or is
Golden
that
Valley.
Golden Valley?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anywhere you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome there,
Okay.
and we love it.
And that's the theme of the church. I do not consider myself religious. I'm very spiritual. I'm very spiritual. I believe in doing what I have my little prayers and meditation with, and adding it in my life, and being positive in my life. And you are what you think. You bring things into your life the way you think all the time. You think about something long enough, it'll come into your life. So that be negative or positive. I just have a spiritual spin on it. I'm not into religion, not organized religion. I got a problem with it because they forgot what they were supposed to be doing. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It's the truth.
You're supposed to be helping people to understand the power that they have inside of themselves and not use that power to put it over the people. And that just happens a lot more in religion. Religious.
Organized religion.
Thank you.
As soon as you organize it and put people in charge, they will use that power.
Oh, especially
Big Daddy Pastor.
if you know,
Yep.
if you understand how the power works for any and everybody. You just have to don't tap on people's laziness. I think people are lazy. I think they're lazy, and they look for people outside of themselves instead of doing the work.
Right.
Which is that's how they get you.
You know, I just read an article a couple of weeks ago about a South Carolina pastor. And when the offering was going around, he was saying, single mothers, people that need it, take it out. Take
That's
what you want.
Wonderful.
Because
That's
you know
what
what?
should
We're
be
here to
happening.
serve you.
That's right.
You know, not here to collect money.
That's phenomenal.
So
I
people
love
put
it.
in money, and if you needed it for food, you needed it for your kid for some reason, or you were, on Social Security and it didn't cover, he said, take it out. And I
That's what
thought that
needs
was
to be
phenomenal.
happening.
It is.
That's
It
what's so
really is.
beautiful when
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah.
That's what we're about. From giving comes giving. It's a beautiful little circle that goes around. And people not only need help financially and other ways, but they need help spiritually. That's also your job. If you understand, you need to be giving somebody hope. They need to know that, like Jesus said, everything I can do, you can do, and probably do it better. And stop just taking the thing of, y'all gonna get mad at me. Jesus, thank you for taking care of me. Or blah, da, da. I run around and I beat up women and blah, da, da, da. But in Jesus' name, I'm asking for forgiveness. Well, yeah. God and Jesus and everybody else will forgive you. It's about you changing your life. Not just about talking and saying that and then turn around and doing the same thing you've been doing. No, that power is within you. You got to do some work.
Or these guys down in the Bible Belt, I'll call it, that have these mega churches. And they're multi-millionaires. They have yachts, $8-10 million homes. It's a business to them. It's not about religion or spirituality.
It's the religious business.
Yeah.
I see these huge, I can only watch it for so long because it gets on my nerves. But I just see these huge cathedrals, not just they built something that holds 3,000 and 4,000 people. And I'm going, what if you were really teaching these people, right?
Yeah.
If you're really teaching them the power that they have, just like you do, they might have their own places. And guess what? It would grow even larger, but it would grow from a righteous place inside of everybody, that everybody can do this stuff, and you need to be telling them that.
You know how big of a church Mother Teresa had?
She didn't have church.
That's right.
Jesus didn't have church.
That's right. Think about that.
Oh, I do think about that. I think
And-
about you. I'll talk about everything Jesus said, but what Jesus told you not to do. I mean, you know, Jesus, half the stuff you all are sitting putting in Jesus' name and wars in God's name. I'm going, what God are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
My God, stop it.
You know, I think Jesus was a rebel.
You don't
A
know what?
complete rebel. He
He
went
was a
into the
complete
temple and started throwing
would
stuff and,
beat
and,
you
and
down.
yeah. And I think that scared people. Just like rebels today scare people. And he scared what you would call the Jewish hierarchy at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because they was messing with he
Their
was
money.
messing with their money.
absolutely.
Plain and simple. You can't come and yes, we're doing what we're supposed to do. No, 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 no. And honestly, if you're Jewish or whatever, he did every prophecy that your laws and rules said. He followed everything. He did to the T. It just wasn't the way you all thought it was going to be. And basically, when you start talking about the Pharisees and all of the Pharisees who didn't give a crap, truly, theirs was seriously political. They sat back and said, you all work this out.
Well, I
because don't
think
want this
that
craziness
it's just like anything today. The everyday people, they don't have time to think about that because they're trying to survive. You know what I mean? But when you get into the people with money, the people that can think about these things, they want to hold on to their power, whether it's political, religious, all of that stuff. It's all about money and power.
Of course it's about money and power.
know, so-
and to them, money is power. And you can't sit back and having all those hundreds of thousands of people realize that what you're doing, they can do themselves and get whatever they need for themselves.
Absolutely.
So you don't teach them that. But
Well, the other part,
it's there. You just need to open up your eyes and stop looking out there for somebody to take care of you, or out there for something to happen in your life, or out there for that, because everything you need is inside. Jesus said it's all, the kingdom is within. It ain't out here, it's in. If you get to figuring that out, then your mind gets to being in a right place, and you start drawing. You start putting positive thoughts in your mind, you start doing positive things. Like attracts like. Positive goes to positive. I mean, if you just want to sit back and do some science, negative is drawn to negative, positive is drawn to positive. That's simple. Teach them that. Let them work on that. Stop thinking all those negative, crappy thoughts
That's
and
right.
stuff.
with that,
A little prayer and meditation is all good for you.
amen, sister. But you know, Doris has given me the tap on the thing, so we'll probably have to wrap it up. We've gone an hour and 7 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
I gotta have to cut 7 minutes out of here somewhere.
Okay.
Just kidding. No, we'll take what we have. I love it. I really appreciate you two coming in, and it's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you for the offer.
I also want to know if you're on Facebook or something like that. People could follow you as for your shows and all that stuff.
You can go to Facebook and find out where I'm playing, because that's about all. She's the Facebook kid.
Doris,
Hmm?
do you got a Facebook for Debbie or
Gracie, she has a Facebook page. It's DebbieDuncan.jazz.
No, it's Debbie Duncan Jazz.
Debbie Duncan Jazz. Yeah,
Debbie
that's-
Duncan Jazz?
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to start following that.
Okay.
Okay, and I hope everybody else does too, because it's
We do too.
great music. You are very good,
Thank
and
you.
I would love to see a reunion. Come on, I want to see it. That would be fantastic to see what you guys used to sing like. So, with that, thank you so much, and
Thank you for having us.
you're
Bye.
welcome.
you.
I
I,
appreciate it.
it's been my pleasure.
Yeah.
All right.